All right, geometry, Mr. Clark here. We're taking a look at the area of a sector. Now, a sector, you can think of it as, it's kind of a slice of pizza if you're looking at the circle like that. All right, so notice that we have pi r squared as part of the formula. That should look familiar. If we got rid of the x over 360, pi r squared is just the area of a circle. So now, just like, when I talked about the x over 360 in the arc length equation, it's basically a fraction that's going to tell us, okay, I want the area of the circle, but not the whole thing. I just want part of it. And x over 360 is going to represent that part. So it's a fraction of the circle. I talked about a semicircle would be 180 for x right there. So a semicircle is half of a circle. 180 divided by 360 is 1/2, so it would be 1/2 of the area. So just know that x over 360, that's just basically a fraction telling you, okay, this is how much of the circle we're talking about. All right, so getting to it, they want the areas of the sectors here in terms of pi and also rounded to the nearest tenth, so we're given two answers. All right, so here they gave us the central angle is 45. They gave us the radius is 3, so we're plugging right in. We got the area equals 45 over 360 times pi 3 squared. 3 squared is going to give us 9. I just took 9 and multiplied by 45 there. I like handling the numerator first. 9 times 45 is 405. So we got the area equals 405 divided by 360 times pi. Now that fraction can be simplified. And we end up getting that area to be 9 over 8 pi, or 9 pi over 8, however you want to write it. Now remember, when we're talking area, we want to label it in units squared, so feet squared there. Now they also wanted the answer rounded to the nearest tenth, so I just had to take 9 pi divided by 8, and that ends up being about 3.5. So area is 3.5 feet squared when we're rounding to the nearest tenth. All right, so part B, a little bit different, not that huge of an adjustment here. Notice we're looking for the shaded area. So this sector is actually, looking kind of like, Pac-Man for the zero view that were around in the 80s to play that. All right, so looking at the central angle here, they gave us, this little missing slice that we're not looking for. They gave us that that's 36 degrees. Now remember, we got 360 degrees total, so we can find the shaded central angle by subtracting that 36 from 360. So we have 324 degrees for that central angle of the shaded sector here. So we're going to plug in. We got 324 over 360 times pi, and our radius is 10, so 10 squared. So when we crunch all that out, 10 squared is 100. That means we're going to throw 2 zeros on the end of that 324. So for the next line, we get 32,400 divided by 360, and then all that times pi. Now, luckily, we don't have to reduce a fraction. We actually get a whole number there. That's 90. So the area is going to be 90 pi meters squared. And when we round that to the nearest tenth by multiplying the 90 and the pi together, we should get 282.7 meters squared. So if you have any questions, send me an email.